G'day everybody, Daz here for my Aussie garden and kitchen. Spring is finally here. I'm a bit late. I'm already 2.5 weeks into spring, and I've had a few people ask about how things are going, how my garden has reacted to spring. So here's the video. I'm in the orchard. Let's have a quick look at the orchard, and then we'll go look at all the veggies and berries and things like that. So as expected, things have started to kick off here in spring. Blossoms on apricot trees and peach trees, and blossoms on cherry trees, and I don't know, leaves appearing everywhere, and pretty good stuff. So you can see here that my 2 cherries that I put in last year, they're going gangbusters. They're so doing well, doing really well here. You can see all the blossoms down in here, and then the one over the back here, it's covered in leaves. That one's already flowered, and there's actually little fruit cherries already on there. It's awesome. There we go. There's some cherries there, and there's more cherries in here and in here. What I've done in this enclosed orchard is that I've got 3 types of cherries. They're all self-pollinating, but they can all help each other out if they flower. And what I've done is each of the 3 species actually bear fruit at slightly different times. So the plan is that I'm going to have an extended cherry season. So I'll have some that will, I don't know, fruit in say December, some in January, some in February. I think that's how I've got it worked out. The apricot tree is doing really well. It's got lots of little apricots going on it. So fingers crossed for lots of apricots this year. I've also had people ask me how I've gone about my espalier and whether it's worked or not. Here is a plum, which I don't believe is going to fruit. I believe when I saved this tree, I've actually saved the rootstock only, which is a non-fruiting part of the tree, unfortunately. Unfortunately for me, the fruiting section up the top died, but the part I was able to save was the root section, which can grow up into a tree and doesn't bear fruit. So I thought I'd have some fun and experiment with espalier, and this is what it's looking like. Apple trees are coming to life. My pink lady apple tree starting to come to life. I can see the leaves and the little flowers starting. Love my pink lady apple tree. It's my favorite of the apple trees. I do have a Granny Smith that I need to plant, and I'll tell you what, that's gonna, that is going to, I don't know if that's going to be my #1 apple tree because I love Granny Smiths. Oh, such decisions. My propagated thornless blackberry, again, is going to have another bumper year here in the orchard. That's one of, I think, 8 that I've propagated, and yeah, they're doing so well. Very happy about that. Santa Rosa plum, that's looking good. We'll see how it goes this year. It did pretty well for fruit, decimated by rats, as was everything in the orchard, but fingers crossed I'll have a better year this year. Very neglected Japanese mandarin. It's doing okay there, but I do think that I will dig it out and move it out into the yard somewhere. The 2 pairs are doing well. One I'm just letting grow naturally in here, and the other one I've got in a fan shape against wire, espaliered, but in a fan shape like this. Basically, so I can grow it in the back corner here and along the fence line here and take up space sideways rather than filling in a big circular area. I'm going to use that long flat space there and make the most of it. And I've done it again back further with a peach. So you can see just behind me, I've got the 2 peaches and one, wow, unbelievable. My neighbors are away for so long, and when I start recording, they decide to mow. Oh, I can't believe it. They're back and they're mowing when I decide to record. Okay, just quickly, the peach, I'm letting the peach grow naturally in here. I have cut it off at the top to keep it at a reasonable height, and I've got the other peach growing against the wire along the fence line there in a fan shape as well, like I explained with the pear. Just down here beside me is my Stella cherry. I love Stella cherries, and this is really doing well, so fingers crossed for a bumper year on Stella cherries. The row of citrus behind me, they're doing really well. I've got oranges that I need to pick and mandarins that I need to pick. And then I've got more oranges just starting to form on the smaller trees. And that's because I've pretty much picked species of oranges, a couple of different types, again, so I can have some that fruit at one time of year and some that fruit later on. and get a bit of a spread over time of my orange production. My walkway that I made with my grapes and propagated blackberries, it's really working well. I've pruned the grapes, I pruned them in winter, gave them a good cut, about a 90% cut on them, the 2 grapes that are here. And the propagated blackberries, I just cut back all the canes that fruited last year and left the new ones that will fruit this year. And they're looking really healthy, and I just love this thing. It's all recycled bits and pieces, except for the weed mat. I did pay for the weed mat. Great big roll, so it was economical. And like last year, I'm hoping to get lots of blackberries. Okay, this passion fruit here is a non-grafted passion fruit, and it's struggling because once again, the dog dug it up. So that's 3 passion fruit. Hang on, let me turn this camera around. So that's 3 passion fruit now that I've planted. I've had 2 in pots, big containers, this one in the ground, and the dog has dug up every single one of them. Don't know, she leaves the chickens alone, she leaves all the other plants alone, but for some reason, she likes to dig up passion fruit and run around with the passion fruit vine. So I've replanted it. Hopefully it's going to recover, but man, I just want to grow passion fruit. I can grow them here, but maybe I need to look at doing them on the other yard where the dog doesn't go. Oh, there's a beautiful eagle up there. Oh, it's circling above my house and my chickens. I'll be back. I'm just going to clap my hands and get rid of this bird. Okay, so just quickly, my fan-shaped fan like that, lemon tree, is doing okay. And as you can see, the mulberries are coming to life. There's one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. They're all dwarf mulberries. I don't think this one is. I got this at a different time years ago, but as you can see the way it's cut, I just keep it cut pretty much every year. I cut it down and it's looking pretty good. And the mother plant for my thornless blackberries is doing well. As you can see, nice big canes and lots of new growth happening. Again, nice fruiting canes for this year. And yep, this is where it all started. This is where I propagated all my blackberries that are doing so well. And of course, I've got a video on my channel to see how I propagate blackberries successfully. Volunteer potatoes. I'm gonna have to cover this up and stop the chickens from getting in there, because that looks like there's a nice amount of potatoes starting to grow under this dirt. As you'll see over my shoulder, my broccoli has finally had its day, and I've been picking off all the sprouting heads and letting it flower, and the bees and native bees are loving that. And there's a few that are starting to start the pods. So I'm going to let a few go and collect the seed from those pods, and they'll be my broccoli for next year and possibly beyond. And beside that, I've got Brussels sprouts that are doing okay. They're taking quite a long time, but I'm going to leave them in and see how they go. But I do want to get these out and put tomatoes into this bed. So down behind me here, I've got garlic that's doing really well in the bed that I can see over here on the screen. Yeah, the garlic's doing really well. I've got another lot on a grow bag back there that's doing really well. Potatoes in beside the garlic here. My volunteer carrots, and I've got cauliflower. There's actually a couple there that I let go too long. They're still quite edible, so I will actually pick those up and probably do a roasted cauliflower with maybe a white sauce and cheese or something like that. If I don't, my wife will do it. Yeah, so the cauliflower is just about done. Snow peas, sugar snap peas, they're doing really well. Looking pretty good actually, and I just love picking them and eating them when they're small, and oh yum. If I can, get them inside to stir fry. Gotta love a good stir fry. Yeah, there's some more potatoes in a grow bag, and I don't know, I've got volunteer celery popping up all over the place as well, and my little spring onion patch where I just cut them off at the ground and reuse them year after year. They're going really well. Oh, fly. Avocado tree in the pot is doing really well. Really happy with that. Lots of flowers growing on it. Well, little buds, which will turn into flowers. Hopefully some of those will be pollinated. I'm gonna go around and give them a shake and probably get a paintbrush and just dab them with a paintbrush and hand pollinate them as I do with pumpkins and things like that. raspberries are starting to kick off, and anyone that's been following my channel for quite a while know how much of a fan I am of my raspberries and how successful I've been with them. So this jungle in here, there's two types of raspberries in there. They're doing really well. The summer bearing ones, they're really, really growing like crazy, because these are last year's canes that I leave up to fruit this year. There's some autumn bearing ones down in here on the other side. They're just starting to pop up through the ground. And in fact, I can show you those ones in there. They're autumn bearing ones, and autumn bliss, I think they are. So they've all just started to pop up, which is great. So lots of raspberries that will grow over quite a few months and just give me a good supply of raspberries. And of course, if we come over this way, I've got my other raspberry bed here. And as you can see, it's actually full of stinging nettle. So I need to be careful. I'm just letting them grow a little, because I actually put the stinging nettle into a fertilizer that I make with weeds. Stinging nettle are incredibly, incredibly powerful nutrition-wise when making a fertilizer out of weeds. And I've got a couple of garlic. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 garlic that I can see, which I don't know how they got in there, but they're in with the raspberries. And as you can see, these raspberries here, again, these are last year's canes. And, oh, excuse me, there's a fly. And with these canes, they're canes from last year that I've left to grow for this year, so the fruit grows on them this year. Once I get the fruit, I'll cut them away, and when I do that, there'll be other canes that come up for next year. This will be one of my pumpkin patches, and as you can see, the weed mat's done really well at holding back the grass. Maybe not so well there, but you know what I mean. So I've actually got pumpkins inside, growing from seed at the moment under a heat lamp and a heat mat. And I can't do that outside because the mice and everything get in and they eat the seeds in the ground. So yeah, I'll transplant the baby pumpkins and butternut pumpkins. People overseas call them butternut squash, but we call them pumpkins over here. So yeah, pumpkins will be going in here, maybe a couple of butternuts, and I'm going to be putting pumpkins and butternuts in other parts of the yard as well. That pot down there, I have no idea what's in it now. It's my marigold pot, so I don't know. I'm just going to let that go and see what happens. But yeah, when I have my pumpkins down here, I always have flowers down here as well to keep the pollinators hanging around. So yeah, I guess I'll find out and see what's growing in that container. So I just keep on watering it and we'll see what happens. Okay, it looks like I've got a couple of volunteer potatoes, and it looks like a couple of volunteer onions. They'd be red onions because I grow red onions in this bed. So yeah, normally I grow red onions in here, and I probably will again, but I can just see some volunteer potatoes popping through the soil, and it looks like 2 sprouts from red onions just over there. I finally moved my compost bays, well, 2 of them anyway. So here I've got 2 compost bays, which I'll show you. And if you haven't heard before, I had to move the compost bays here because down on my back fence, there's a drain from the local town, the sewerage and stuff like that. Not sewerage, just street water. And unfortunately, with extreme rain, it overflows, and it was actually flooding out my compost. And last year I lost an entire year's worth of compost, just flooded away. I was so disappointed. So now the compost goes up further in the yard. And here we are in my entertaining area, my chaotic, messy entertaining area, which is full of plants for the kitchen. In here, I've got an abundance of things happening as usual. Raspberries that are well overdue to be planted somewhere. Coriander that we love to pick fresh, cilantro as people call it overseas. Celery that needs to go out. A couple of dwarf bananas here and here. I've got my lettuce container here, and I've got some sort of brassica growing in the middle of it, which is going to have to be moved. So beautiful fresh lettuce, and again coriander that we pick fresh. Tatsoi is starting to flower and go to seed. We had lots of tatsoi this season, so there's all tatsoi in here. Parsley here, which is looking a bit sad. There's my saffron bulbs in here, which I guess they're dying off until next year. And here we go. There's another raspberry that needs to be planted and growing out. More tatsoi, which is actually growing in with, there's a raspberry in here, believe it or not. There we go. There's some of the foliage from the raspberry. There's another raspberry that needs to be planted out. As I said before, love my raspberries. Spinach, lovely spinach here, which everyone comes and picks and eats. Mint, fresh mint here. My family really do enjoy coming out here and just grabbing what they need and picking things. So that's why I don't like to have this sort of stuff out into the yard. It's so convenient to be in the kitchen and cooking or just snacking and be able to just step out and grab a few chilies or a few strawberries or some mint or thyme or you name it. Just, it's really good not to be able to have to worry about going past the dog and the chickens and closing gates and all that sort of stuff. So, and for me, when I have days with my mental health where I can't go outside, I can't face being outside of the house, I can usually get here in my little entertaining area. It's closed off and the neighbours can't see me. I've strategically put plants around the edges so they can't see in, and yeah, I can come out here and just do my thing and clean out the strawberries and prune things and stuff like that. So this is probably one of my favourite places of the garden. Unfortunately, it's a mess and it's embarrassing back there, but I just love this in here. It's just so good. Like, look at all these strawberries. How cool is this? I've got strawberries everywhere. They're growing in everything, actually. There's containers and stuff over here where there's strawberries growing in the containers with blueberries and I don't know. There's strawberries everywhere. So I've got more sugar snap peas growing in here on this little stick thing that I made a couple of years ago, and tatsoi growing in at the base of the sugar snap peas, which I need to get rid of, the tatsoi that is. More strawberries in containers, and this is a tayberry back here. That tayberry I need to put somewhere. Rosemary, and that's my bay tree, and look, it's got volunteer celery. Chilies, I'm letting these die off because I'm going to cut back on the amount of chilies. I just have way too many of them. More strawberries. This is a flower area for pollinators. More strawberries. Did I mention strawberries? More strawberries and peppermint. I've got bearded iris and stuff back here, and more celery that's just popped up, and also these are propagated mulberries that I took from trees. Isn't this beautiful? Cut that from the neighbour's fence, and it's been in there for about 4 years now. Just that one branch. Anyway, I'm going to move on. More strawberries behind the lemongrass. Look at that lemongrass. More celery. Strawberries. Did I mention strawberries? Oh, look, and there's more strawberries. Beautiful sage back there, and there's a grape which I need to get planted out into the ground. And there's a sugar snap pea there. I've gone blank. I can't think what this is. I've gone totally blank. A black currant. Black currant is about to shoot, and I need to get this out into the ground. And of course, inside I've got a whole bunch of stuff under grow lights for coming out into the yard for late spring, summer. Corn and watermelon and rock melon and, oh gee, I don't know. I think there's warm weather broccoli and, oh gee, chilies, capsicums, or red bell peppers, jalapenos, some herbs. Oh gee, I don't know. I've gone blank. But yeah, I need to get organised and get stuff happening because I'm falling behind, and yeah, my son's going to come out and rescue a lot of things and help me out, I think, because I'm just not keeping up with it like I should. Hopefully some of you are still awake, and I do appreciate you watching this video. If you don't mind, check out this video on the screen right now. And as always, thank you very much, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye for now.